after some thought, I've come to realize that the Pixel 9 Pro XL is one of. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. Time to talk about the Pixel 9 Pro XL a little over a month later. Really like this phone, so I think you'll probably be surprised at what I say about it, because you know I like the Pixel 9 Pro. I have the Pixel 9 Pro as well, which is the smaller variant, but this is the XL, and this is a popular one, but I don't know if it's as popular as the 9 Pro, because the 9 Pro is actually the new Pixel. It is the smaller, powerful version, or same power level as this phone, just in a smaller package. So that is actually the new Pixel, and this is just kind of a continuation of the 8 Pro lineup, their Pro lineup. So I know that it's popular, but I don't know how popular it is in comparison to the Pro model. But let's step into this arena and let's talk about hardware. So the hardware on the Pixel 9 Pro XL kind of continues on from the 8 Pro, just a few tweaks in the way it's built and put together as far as the shape goes. And then obviously you get this new camera module on the back, and so it definitely makes it look a lot better, a little bit more uniform with the rounded corners and stuff like that. So it is actually a really sleek looking device. My only change I would do is to remove the stainless steel sides and go with brushed aluminum or go with a titanium setup. The polished sides are just not my favorite. And then, you know, the polished edges around the camera module, can't really notice them too much until you turn it to the side. But ultimately, only thing about this hardware that I don't really care for is the polished sides. Other than that, this is a great looking Pixel. To me, it's probably the best looking Pixel that they've produced, which it should be that way when you consider where they've come from. And history kind of repeats itself. This is circling back around to those Nexus 6P days where, you know, we kind of mocked it at first, but we end up really liking the design, and that's a good thing. So Google's software is definitely known to be a love-hate thing with some people. Some people really don't like just the bare bones stock Android appeal, and some of us do. Now I prefer stock Android, but that doesn't mean I rank stock Android as the top of the line best software that I would recommend to people. That depends on, you know, your use case scenario, what you can do with it, or what you plan on doing with the phone itself. But I have to say, the software on this thing is buttery smooth. I have not experienced any kind of heating issues. There's no lag. There's none of the things that, you know, some people are experiencing. I'm not going to say that they're not experiencing it. I'm just not experiencing it. And yeah, we're about a month and a half in, almost, or however long this phone has been out. And I just don't have any issues with this situation with overheating or just anything dealing with the software. I'm not experiencing that. So that's a good thing. I really could appreciate that Google's able to put together a device coupled with the hardware, you know, and then you have this nice clean piece of software on top built all together to have it perform as the way it should. You know, we should be getting buttery smooth software for this price, and how long that Google's been doing phones now. We should be at a place where we don't have to complain about it lagging and things like that. And that's going to go to the next conversation, which is the processor. This has the Tensor G4 chip, or Tensor 4 chip, or whatever. It's good. I'm not having issues, as I stated before. But when I compare it to the likes of a Samsung phone, I'll just pick up whichever one's here on my desk, which is going to be the S24 Plus. When I compare it to, and I think these phones are actually, I've already done a video comparing these, and I think this is the phone that Google should be chasing, if you will, because the S24 Plus offers a ton to be reckoned with. I mean, the performance of the S24 Plus, and I don't need to pick up the S24 Ultra. This is the next version of the S24 Ultra without the S Pen, and which is what this ultimately has, no S Pen, and just kind of has whatever software it has. I think the S24 Ultra performs better, or the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra. Just this lineup from Samsung with this processor and this combination, it just feels smoother, faster than the Tensor G4 chip. The Tensor chip is put together nicely, but there's a lot of limitations on the Tensor chip stopping the phone in other areas that I'll talk about in just a second. But overall, I think, the Pixel, the chip inside of here can do its thing. It's a really nice chip. However, the limitations come in other areas, and I would say it's definitely the camera. So Google now claims, hey, our video cameras are the best in the market. I think these cameras are good. They are a strong set of cameras, but when you start to compare it to other phones on the market, that is when you see the realization that, okay, these are not the most powerful cameras. These are not the best cameras. The colors represented for video are not to everyone's liking. And I'll speak for me, comparing this to the Samsung, the OnePlus, the iPhone, all these different phones that I have, the Pixel video turned out to be the worst in indoor settings, indoor scenarios. It turned out to be the worst. The color representation of my skin was way off. And I think that it's sad in this day and age that, Google, having mastered the photo arena, you can take a photo with a Pixel and you don't have to work for it. You don't have to work for it, and it is going to come out pretty much spot on. I mean, it's going to be really nice. It's just a perfect picture. But not everyone is into photography at that level that's doing creation let's just face it. I've always said it. We need to have the best video cameras, pardon me, from these corporations to be forward, because we're in an age where everybody's recording themselves and they're recording other people. So with that said, while the Pixel 9 Pro XL doesn't have the best video cameras of all, they're not the worst. They just don't stand up next to the Samsung products or the Apple products or the OnePlus products in video. They just don't stand up. And the fact that the Tensor chip is limiting these phones to 1080p blur video doesn't make it a bad thing. It just means that the chip just isn't fully ready for mainstream, for real creation, for people who want to have 4K content on everything. And that's that. So you have the same story with the Pixel. Phenomenal photos, beat up on every phone out there for photos, but video, still not there yet. Now, let's talk about, and let me just real briefly, the video cameras on the end. I gotta give a head nod though to the front camera. The front camera on this phone and all the Pixels are absolutely stunning. Outside, all the phones do great. Indoors is where it counts the most for me, because if I want to vlog indoors, anyone can vlog outside in the sunlight. But the front camera on these phones are good, folks. I think if you want to vlog and you're an outside person, the Pixel definitely will hold it down for you. Now, battery life is something that I think at first it was kind of an issue. I was comparing it next to my Pixel 9 Pro, which I absolutely let me clean the camera module. I absolutely love this phone right here. This phone right here gave me so much battery. The XL version was just not giving it to me. But now you settle in and I have two phones that are pretty much, I don't know, it shouldn't be this. I'm glad that it is, but they're pretty much pushing down the same type of battery life, which is a good thing. That means that Google has optimized these phones great. And they've got a ton of RAM in there. I don't understand how these things could not perform at such a peak level all the time, but it is a piece of hardware in this tech inside. But battery life on these things, you should be able to make it through at least a day and a half and push into 2 days, depending on what kind of user you are. So I don't know. I think, and remember, battery life is subjective. Supposedly, the longer I use this phone and the longer you use all of your tech, you'll really start to see what the battery life is really like. And I think that's what's happening with some phones that I use. This version right here, this Pixel 9 Pro XL, for some reason, it's taking much longer to settle in for me. I don't know what it is, but I can guarantee you that it is now up to speed, and it is definitely pretty much matching the Pixel 9 Pro with a smaller battery, smaller screen, same high resolution, everything. I have them built up the same way, same apps, same performance, same everything. But the XL is just now kicking in to where it's getting that really good battery life where I feel comfortable. I don't need to be near a charger or worry if I'm going to be near a charger at all. So, you check these boxes off. You check off performance, you check off battery, you check off the hardware, and you have to check off the price. I mean, these phones, some people are upset that the price keeps going up, but I think reality is, folks, this is what's going to happen if companies want to be to remain profitable. They're gonna increase their pricing on their products. But more importantly, everything is going to streaming now. Companies want you to buy into a subscription because they're not making any money off of you technically when you buy this phone. It's a wrap, it's done. So units sold don't equate to return revenue. It just does not. So, companies are going streaming. And so with that said, a subscription that a lot of people probably will want to do or may not want to do is Gemini. Now, Gemini is actually really cool. I have used Gemini to create things for me that would take me a lot longer. Writing a long message to someone or writing a long email to someone, using dictation is just great. This is another area where Google really, it doesn't get talked about a lot, but because depending on what network you're using, that is how you're going to get the best experience for cell phone coverage. But reality is there's call screening, which is on another level now since when it first came out. And then you have Gemini. So Gemini, I've been using it to do a lot of dictation and to write things for me that typically would take a long time. I have a lot of emails, and you can now use Gemini to summarize a reply for you to respond to an email for you. And if you don't like it, you just wipe it out and tell it to do it again, or you edit what's in there. And it's actually really spot on. It's almost scary how well this AI formula is working. You can literally have Gemini in everything and have it take care of everything that you need to summarize something or reply to something or write something for you or just do it for you. That's kind of scary, because you get to the point where this thing starts to think for itself, and then you're sending out emails to people and you didn't really want to do that. So, but nonetheless, let's hope that it doesn't get there. And let's hope that we're smart enough to shut it down if it does get to that point. But the fact is, Gemini is actually really cool. I'm against certain things when they first drop. I'm just not into all the AI and stuff like that. And I'm still not really into it, but I'm just trying to find a way to incorporate it into my life to make my life a little easier. And it's gotten to that point where, I can find some ways to use this AI formula to benefit me, but not take too much of control of what I'm doing. I don't even use the full self-driving in my Tesla. I just don't do it. I don't like it. It sometimes it makes the wrong turns, or sometimes it breaks a lot and it doesn't have to. There's just a lot to that. So I need to be in control of certain things. And when it comes to AI, Gemini is nice, but I wouldn't go full on AI to do everything for me. Reply to my text message, do this. I don't think I'm ready for that. But in the end, folks, the one area that I think is important when you're buying these smartphones is to find out why you're buying it. Why did you buy the XL? Did you buy it just because you wanted the bigger screen or the bigger battery? You felt like it was going to be better for you. Putting your money into products is now, it's kind of getting harder because the playing fields for smartphones, it's leveling out. Like there's no one smartphone that is just so much better than the other. Like it's just leaving other phones behind. That's just not happening. From where I sit, and I have a lot of phones on my table and on my phone rack over here, and I can pick up any one of these phones and be happy for using it. If I have to go on a trip for a week, pretty much I can take any one of these phones and do the same thing on it, and I'd get the same type of experience. The camera quality might be a little different or something like that, or battery life might be a little different. But the point is, I can get it done. Period. And so that leads the question to, why do we buy the more expensive version? Why don't we buy the lesser version? I don't know. That's up to you to determine. But I've come to the determination that the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is in fact Google's best Pixel. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.